Hey everyone, this is Adrian from Money Metrics here. Today I want to do something a little different on this channel and I want to talk to you about the grocery crisis here in Canada. Okay, so if you're from Canada, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every time you go to the grocery store, prices are just a little higher than the last time you went. And it's hard to go and not spend hundreds of dollars on your grocery bill. Now, there's a lot of fingers being pointed at the major chains in Canada, saying it's their fault and they're price gouging. But is that actually the case? Let's take a dive into our supply chain, how grocery prices work, and let's take a look at it from a business perspective and understand why grocery prices are so high, what can actually be done about it, and what can you do. So the first thing we need to understand is the grocery store is a business, and like all other businesses, grocery stores exist to earn a revenue. Now, grocery stores need to make sure that the products they're selling have enough margin on them to cover all of their costs, and then leave a little bit at the end for their revenue. Now, when you look at a grocery store, they're not immune to inflation, just like the rest of us. Okay, their rents are increasing astronomically, the utility bills are going up, the cost of labor is going up, the cost of transporting the goods to the stores because fuel is going up. Everything that a grocery store does to operate is getting more expensive. So when a grocery store is selling their goods, they need to make sure that there's enough margin on everything they sell to cover all the costs that they're going to incur. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is where our food is actually coming from. Now, you might think that being in Canada, we have the land and the resources to be able to grow our own food. But the truth is, if you go to your grocery store and you look at where the food is actually coming from, most of our food that we eat is not grown here at home. And this means that the cost of food is directly related to how strong the Canadian dollar is in comparison to the other countries that we're importing our food from. So what this means is that as our government prints more and more money and goes into more debt, the Canadian dollar is devalued. And when we're trading with other countries and importing food from them, they are going to demand more for their food in Canadian dollars, directly causing food prices to continuously increase. On top of the increase in costs of foreign goods coming into the country, we're also seeing an increase in the costs of Canadian-grown food. Now, this is because fuel costs are surging to levels we've never seen before, and farmers are paying heavier and heavier taxes in order to farm on their lands. Now, these costs have to be passed on to the grocery stores, which then end up having to be passed on to consumers. So when you put this together, what you actually see is that the cost of goods for grocery stores is increasing, the cost of operation for grocery stores is increasing, and because of that, your grocery bill needs to increase to cover that expense. So now that we understand why grocery bills are so high, the question is there something that can be done about it? Well, the number one issue with grocery bills and why they're so high is, quite frankly, our government. Now, the biggest issue is we do not have a government in place right now that has any idea about what monetary policy is, and they don't understand how business works. And they don't understand why grocery stores have to increase the cost of goods. We've seen it just recently where the government has actually launched a probe into grocery store prices because they don't understand how grocery prices work, and they don't understand why grocery prices are going up when it's very plain and right in front of them. So the truth of the matter is that unless we see a major change in the way our federal government operates, we're not going to see grocery prices stabilize or come down anytime soon. But the good news is there are some things you can do to save money on your grocery bill and to improve your quality of life while you're doing it. So the number one thing that you can do to save money on your grocery bills is to meal plan. It's very simple. Just take a look at your flyers, see what's on sale for that week, and plan your meals around what's on sale. This could save you hundreds of dollars a month on your grocery bills. So the next thing you can do to decrease your grocery bill is to stop buying pre-made meals. You have to understand that these pre-made meals take a lot longer to go through our supply chain, which increases their costs. If instead of buying a pre-made meal, you go and you buy the ingredients you need to make that meal yourself, you can save a lot of money. Finally, something else you can do is to start shopping seasonally. Now in Canada, we have 4 seasons, and in each season, different food items are more readily available. And when an item is more readily available, it's cheaper at the grocery store. So if you start to adjust your grocery list to focus on items that are more readily available that season, you can save a lot of money on your grocery bill. So the truth of the matter is that until we see major changes in our federal government, grocery prices aren't going to stabilize or come down. We need to see a federal government that makes monetary changes to stop inflation and to help us import goods at reasonable prices. We also need to see a federal government that makes domestic changes, reducing the costs of fuel and reducing the taxes put onto our farmers so that they can farm and they can produce goods here at home to be able to serve our own population. And we need to see changes that help drop utility costs and help drop the cost of grocery stores to operate. Unless we see these changes, grocery store prices will continue to be high, and they'll need to continue to be high in order for them to survive. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure you like and you subscribe. Now, let me know in the comments below, do you agree with me? Do you think that this is a federal problem? Or do you think that the grocery chains are the ones at fault? Do you think what I was saying is complete BS, or do you agree with it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time here on Money Metrics.